We're going to cut it slightly short this hour.
Yes.
Because we've got someone far more important to talk to.
Who's that?
Frankly, it's the Women's Minister, Maria Caulfield.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Who joins us now. Good to see you this morning. You've upset Christopher Biggins quite intensely, I'm sorry to say. I wonder if Rishi Sunak has upset you and your colleagues by the very fact he's said it looks like Labour will be a bigger parliamentary party than the Conservatives at the next election. It's an extraordinary thing to say.
Well, I think what he said was that the polls have been wrong. For months now, they've been saying that we're 20 points behind Labour. And actually, when you look at the results from the local elections, and experts have done the drilling down on those numbers, it's between 7 to 9 points. And what we're actually looking for is a potential hung parliament. And if Labour then want to go into government, they would have to do deals with parties like the SNP, the Lib Dems, and parties like the Green Party as well. So that's what he said, is that the polls have had Labour ahead by a big margin for a long while, but that's not actually what these elections have shown.
I mean, we heard from James Cleverly, didn't we, a couple of days ago, who said that he believes that the voters are going to come back to you in time for a general election. He thinks that the local elections is time for a protest vote for some, and they'll be back in time for the general election whenever that is called. What big rabbit are you going to pull out of the hat to ensure that that can happen? The Daily Express saying only big tax cuts and growth can save the Tories now.
Well, if you look at results like Blackpool South, for example, James Cleverly's right. The Labour numbers went down. Ours went down by about 13,000, and parties like Reform only went up by about 1,000. So clearly our voters stayed at home. So they're not switching parties. They do want to vote Conservative, but we have to give them reasons to do that. And that's about delivering on the work that we're doing. So, the three big issues that we're focusing as part of the PM's 5-point plan are immigration, the NHS and the economy. Now, the economy, inflation is down significantly, and people are starting to feel that in their pockets. We've got the national insurance cut that's come into people's pay packets just at the end of last month. Immigration, obviously, we deported 25,000 people last year. We've got the Rwanda plan, and we know we need to make more progress on that. And the NHS, for 5 months in a row now, we've seen waiting lists fall. So we're getting on top of that COVID backlog. So we are starting to deliver. And I think it's not about changing plans. It's about delivering on the promises that we've already made.
The problem with those three that you highlight, the problem is that you've got to feel the change. And it may be heading in the right direction, but it's gradual. It doesn't feel like you're getting an appointment any quicker any time you're going to the NHS. The economy, well, we might technically have more money in our pockets. The Labour Party disputes that, actually. We don't feel any better off. And immigration, well, they're still coming. The Rwanda plan isn't here yet. Well, sort of is, sort of isn't, but hardly anyone. One person's gone, is it, so far? So the whole thing might be going in the direction the Prime Minister wants, but we're not feeling the difference.
No, I agree with you, and that's the challenge we have to deliver on is so that people feel that difference. The Rwanda plan, for example, we've had to have the hurdle of the House of Lords, the Labour Party constantly voting against it, lawyers trying to challenge any deportations that we've made, which the Rwanda Act of Parliament will try to address. We've had significant hurdles to do much of these things. If you look at the NHS, people are starting to feel the difference. We had 2-year waits when we came out of COVID for things like scans, appointments, operations at hospitals. That's now roughly between 6 to 9 months for most people. That's because we're opening up new surgical hubs, new rapid diagnostic centres. So people are starting to feel the difference in terms of healthcare. And in terms of the economy, yes, we're coming through some very difficult times. The national insurance cut is starting to make a difference. Pensioners have just got their increase in their triple lock. And it will take a while for people to feel that difference and feel confident about that difference, that it's not just a blip for a couple of months, but actually this is real change, that they're keeping more of the money that they earn. So that is absolutely the crux of the issue. People need to feel the benefit of the work that we're doing.
is the Tory plan now after the results of this weekend? Because it doesn't seem to be very united in approach. Suella Braverman suggesting that the party needs to swing to the right in order to garner better results. And Mark Harper suggesting yesterday that you just need to stick to the plan, stick to the status quo. But the plan isn't working, is it? You've lost 470 councillors over the weekend. You only won one mayoral race of the number that there was. I mean, isn't it time to change course?
Well, no, I would disagree. You know, the election results are better than were predicted. We won 19 out of the 33 police crime commissioners. Ben Houchen was re-elected in Teesside, where he was predicted not to. Andy Street only lost by 0.8% in his election in the West Midlands. And when you look at the numbers, and the experts have crunched those numbers since Thursday, actually the polls have narrowed and the polling was widely wrong. You know, Susan Hall was predicted to be 20 points behind Sadiq Khan, and she came in 11 points behind. So the polls aren't quite right, and we are making progress. And some of the key areas, such as Harlow, that Labour really wanted to take control of at these local elections, they didn't manage to. And I think there's a consensus now that Labour haven't done enough if they want to be in government. And so what we want to do over these next few months is make sure that the things that we're working on, we said at the last election, take control of our monies, laws and borders, well, immigration, our borders, our NHS, and getting people feeling like they're benefiting from going out to work and keeping more of the money that they earn is the PM's priorities. OK,
we've only got 1 minute left. You've got to maximise every opportunity you've got now, because you are up against the ropes, really, which is why, if it looks like, and it increasingly does, a November election, that's the last thing that's going to work for the Conservative Party, isn't it? You've got pressure from Donald Trump supporting Nigel Farage and reform, which will go a long way. You've got people who are anti-Trump more likely to vote Labour. It would seem very odd timing for you.
Well, you know, we had a December election in 2019 and won a big majority then. People are very focused when it comes to an election. They'll have a choice to make as to who will be the next Prime Minister. It'll either be Keir Starmer, and, you know, one of the announcements that we've made today is around making sure that public toilets, when they're being built in future, will be single-sex provision, so that women will have protected space for toilets. Things like that, Keir Starmer is very, very flaky on. It's only, the Conservatives have been quite robust on issues such as that. And people have a decision to make. Do they want to stick with the plan? We're starting to get more money into their pockets. The border's starting to be controlled a lot better. The NHS improving after we've come through COVID. Or do they want to put that at risk and have Keir Starmer, which, you know, he's not really clear on what he's going to do on any of those issues. And do they really want to put that at risk? That is the decision whenever the election comes.
OK, Maria Caulfield, really good to see you this morning. Thank you.